chat. Looks like Tanya is here, so is Meg. Let's see, Travis is here as well. Blaze, hello Blaze, and S. Rob. We're looking forward to keto chowing with you tonight as well. Kathy Ray is here. Meg points out butterscotch makes good chaffles. Just saying. I've actually never had chaffles made with butterscotch, but chocolate toffee is really close. So Marie has her reading glasses on. Nice. And Kathy got a replacement creamy. Oh, it was delayed by the snow last week. Looks like Mike is here. And Evelyn is here as well with her picture with Dr. Barry. It's such a funny picture. Yeah, so Miriam, she isn't feeling super well. This was Miriam last night. Around 102 degrees. Not good. And yes, I actually had this discussion at work today. People were like, where's Miriam? I'm like, she has a fever. A couple of years ago, I bought this thing. It is a infrared thermal camera. When it came out, I was like, I gotta have that. I gotta have that. Because I'd always wanted one of these all my life, and now I was an adult, and I could buy stupid stuff like this. So this was way too expensive. But you can use it to check people's temperature if they have a fever. And someone was like, don't you have a thermometer that you could just like stick under her tongue? I'm like, but that was all the way downstairs, and this was in my nightstand. So yeah, so she had a fever last night. It broke. I think she's still not feeling well. So I asked her, are you going to be on the live stream? And she's like, no. Is that okay? I said, it's fine. Let's see, Rockin' Keto. Amy is here. Yeah, I get to monologue. Oh boy. Jeez. Watch out, everybody. Here I go. Andrea is here, or Andrea. Como quiere. Yo puedo decirlo. Donna says, yeah, I'm bacheloring it tonight. Carnivore Werewolf is here. Hello. Lisa is here from Phoenix. Nice. Laura says, greeting chow heads from Missouri. Lynn is here. Howdy, 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 back at you. Meg had chocolate toffee pudding for lunch. Had a dental appointment this morning and needed soft food. I have a dental appointment tomorrow. It'll be interesting. Just getting a routine cleaning. Melissa says that's pretty crappy to hear. to hear heat map. No, she wasn't sleeping. We were waiting for Ruth to get home. So she was just very tired. Kathy says they didn't have any more Breeze creamy machines, so I got the original. Yeah, we just have the original one. And what's the fun in the thermometer, right? Took a heat picture of her, how husbandy. Yeah, right? Nancy's here from Washington. Lori is here as well. Everyone says there's a lot of gunk going around right now. Sorry to hear you're down. Yeah, we actually have one of our children just got better. Two of our children are really sick. And I just got better recently too, so. And now Miriam's sick. It's kind of sad. Esra wants to know, can a prepared keto chow be frozen in a creamy container? Or do you need to add other ingredients to make a good creamy? So actually, that's what we do a lot of times. If we have a keto chow that we've mixed up and it's getting close to the 6 days in the fridge cutoff where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to drink that in time. We just pour it into a Ninja Creamy container and freeze it. We don't do anything else to it. When I mix up keto chow to go in a creamy, I use less water because I want a full serving to be exactly 16 ounces. But yeah, you can totally just dump it in there. It works great. Let's see, Cynthia says, how did you make powdered donut with a powder mouthfeel? Magic. It's amazing. Gina is here. I hope Miriam's feeling better. Glad you're here, Chris. Love her shirt. I made it myself. Even the little salty.com. Donna says, I received a message about birthday cake, I think yesterday, but when I looked, it said it was out of stock still. I didn't understand. Is birthday cake out of stock? Oh my gosh. I'm opening up the wrong things. Let's see. Let's do it live. I'm going here to shakes, buy a single flavor. Oh, birthday cake. Yeah, birthday cake is sold out. It is not available. It's possible that like some got returned, and when that happens, it's not supposed to be restocked, which would generate a message to people. Yeah, birthday cake is not available right now. For some reason, I thought you meant cake donut, which was somebody else was talking about. Michelle is here. Hi there. Keto Simple says, Krish, Ash, and I are coming back from Dixon. Oh, you guys are on your way? Nice. Miriam says 4 of the kids are sick now. Oh no, who got sick now? Official Keto says, Mr. Bear used science to show everyone his evidence his wife is hot. Yes, she is so hot. Oh, and Exposing Darkness is sick as well. That's sad. Bob is here, enjoying a hot eggnog keto chow because it's cold. In southeast Arizona. Miriam, before she started feeling ill, made a bunch of batches of chaffles on Sunday. And one of the flavors that she made was eggnog, if I'm not mistaken. Mike says it's weird. I know a lot of people who are sick or have been sick since Christmas. Yeah, it's just going around. Lori says, I just mixed me up some birthday cake pudding. Now, by the way, if you take the vanilla cream keto chow and you add almond extract to it, you get a very convincing birthday cake flavor. So, Carrie is here. Marie says, my stomach feels iffy. Might have just been the combination of my migraine, pain meds, and keeping my eyes closed while my husband drives home because the sun was hurting my eyes. I'm so sorry that you were not feeling good. Carnivore Werewolf says, have you considered a dragon fruit? I've had people suggest it. I actually already have all of the 2025 flavors for Keto Chow locked in. In fact, production on the first one is supposed to be starting any day now. If we're going to get it in time for launch, they got to get that going pretty quick. But am I going to say anything more about it? Wait, no. Let's see. Joanne says, have a great evening, everyone. Let's see. Oh, it looks like Carrie got some keto bricks. And Mike says, hopefully everyone gets better before the Collaborative Science Conference. And for those of you who don't know what that is, if you go to lowcarbevents.com, coming up, it's actually the same weekend as the Superb Owl, also known as the Super Bowl or the big game. In Las Vegas, Nevada, there's going to be a cool conference. So we're going to be there, or I'm going to be there. Right now it's Travis, Christian, Holly, and I. Maybe Miriam, we're not sure. We can't take Steve because somebody from customer service needs to actually be there to answer the questions that are going to come in. So it'll be interesting. And my job is going to be to record it and then give the recordings to Dave so that he can post them, which he did last year. So let's see. Debbie says hugs for Miriam. Yeah. And Lindsay Murphy is here. How's it going, Lindsay? Lindsay, I can't tell you how hilarious I found your video where you were ironing Jared's shirts and talking about stuff. And at the very end, like it just made me laugh so funny when you're like, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It was great. Anyway, let's see. Defense was say, yes, an official Bob Ross sighting. There you go. Suzanne is here. Bubbles wants to know spring launch, March, April. I'm not gonna say. Miriam's already mad at me for saying what I did. And Cindy says, we're getting the tea while Miriam is away. Yeah, right? Let's see. Other stuff I wanted to talk about tonight, aside from, and for you, all of you who showed up late, this was Miriam last night. She was not asleep. She was trying to, I needed to measure her temperature, and I didn't want to go all the way downstairs for a thermometer. Anyway, we're going to talk about subscriptions. So this is an FAQ that we have about our subscriptions. Because for any of you who have been here for a while, you might remember our old subscription platform did not allow us to include limited edition or seasonal flavors. And a lot of people are like, well, that's dumb. I want those limited edition and seasonal flavors in my subscriptions. And we're like, well, the problem is it can't handle that. The old subscription engine, if anything was out of stock in the order, we had the option, and it was either one or the other. It would create the order with everything, including out of stock items. It would just ignore whether stuff was out of stock or not. Or if anything in the order was out of stock, it would skip the entire subscription order. It just wouldn't happen. That kind of sucked. So, which is why with the old subscription engine, you could only order permanent flavors. And if something went out of stock, we actually had to manually contact each person that had that on their subscription and walk them through the process of changing what they wanted in their subscription to something else. It was a big hassle. With the new subscription engine, it now has the option that if this subscription comes up, it looks at all the stuff you have, and if there's something out of stock, it just runs the subscription order without the out of stock items. Great! There's just one problem. How do people know if something's going to be out of stock? So 3 days before, oh my gosh, I accidentally clicked on something. Okay, so when you create a subscription, you're going to get an email. You also get an email if subscription is paused or resumed, whatever. But 3 days before an upcoming subscription order, you are going to get an email reminder that a subscription is coming, along with a link to manage the subscription. Now, we highly, highly recommend that every month when you get that email 3 days before your subscription goes through, take a couple minutes and look at your subscription. Check to see if there are products that have gone out of stock and are no longer available. And check and see if there are new products that you might want to add as part of your subscription. Like, well, before, Cherry Chill Salty wasn't available. Or, hey, now there's Cake Donut. Because we're trying to make sure that any new flavors of Keto Chow and Salty are added to the subscription options the day they become available, or at least the next day, as soon as we can. But here's the problem, and the reason why we're recommending take a couple minutes, go over your subscription. Because once the order goes through, well, it's not going to warn you, hey, your subscription's coming up, these products are out of stock. It's not that smart. The subscription engine, well, number one, it can't predict that 3 days from now, a product's going to be out of stock. And stuff might go out of stock in the meantime. Or it might come back into stock. It just doesn't know. So once the subscription processes, you will get an email saying, hey, these things were skipped, sorry. Now, if you have a build your own bundle, a MyChow subscription, those have a minimum of $110 to get the 15% discount. And if you have a lot of stuff in your subscription that has gone out of stock, like you have, I don't know, 20 birthday cakes. That's all you subscribe to. And we no longer have birthday cake. and then you have like 5 chocolates. Well, those 5 chocolates won't be enough to take it over the $110 minimum to get the 15% discount. But the subscription engine will go ahead and process the subscription order without all of the missing stuff, and in this case, without the 15% discount, because it no longer qualifies for the 15% discount. So we're coming back to, hey, when you get the thing saying, hey, your subscription is coming up, please, 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 just take a couple minutes. And if for whatever reason you're not getting the emails, you're not being notified that it's coming up, my recommendation is to go on your phone or your computer and create a recurring calendar event that reminds you to go in and manage your subscription. And the cool thing is the link to manage your subscription doesn't change. So you could actually copy that link, put it into the calendar thing, and remind yourself to just go in, take a couple minutes, and check your subscription. So it would be cool if the email 3 days ahead of time warned you that some products were out of stock on your subscription. Unfortunately, it just isn't that smart. The subscription engine we use, it doesn't have that capability. The alternative is we go back to the old model where we don't allow stuff that goes out of stock, like the limited edition and the seasonal flavors. And we got overwhelmingly people saying, no, we want the limited edition. We want the new flavors as part of the subscription. The cost of that is you need to take an active part in managing your subscription. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. If you have questions about that, if there's stuff that you don't understand about that, if you go to any page on our website, you scroll down to the very bottom, you've got a phone number and you've got an email that you can contact our team, and they can explain it in greater detail specific to your circumstances. So, all right, let's catch up on some comments. Mike says, Steve do the short straw or won the lottery, depending on your point of view. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it might also be his birthday. S-Rob wants to know, by any chance, did you ever test Zip Fizz for maltodextrin? Actually, I did. And strangely enough, there's something in it that almost instantly dissolves the iodine or knocks the iodine out. So you mix, and so I have a spreadsheet where I have all my tests for maltodextrin. And on that, I actually recorded a video of Zip Fizz because you add the iodine to it and it goes purple, indicating the presence of maltodextrin. And then almost instantly it goes clear. Like it's not the golden honey color that iodine is supposed to be. It just neutralizes it. It's really weird. So it does contain maltodextrin, but it does contain something else, and I'm not exactly sure what it is, that is neutralizing the maltodextrin. And it's not citric acid or vitamin C, because, well, it's not citric acid. It might be vitamin C. I don't know. I actually tested lemon juice and pure citric acid to see if they affected maltodextrin, and neither of them did by themselves. So they just left the maltodextrin a really nice honey color. Miriam says, grrr. Let's see. Evelyn says, I hope you and Chris Cooking Nashville, worked hard, Dustin. Yeah, I'm assuming they did. Keto Simple says, if Zip Fizz doesn't have maltodextrin, I'd be a monkey's uncle. I think it actually says on the ingredients that it contains maltodextrin. So, let's see. People talking to Miriam, which is great. Nancy says, I used the recipe on the website for eggnog waffles, but used donut. These are the best waffles ever. Even non-keto family love them. And by the way, one thing I do need to point out, So on our website, we have the 3-ingredient chaffle recipe, which is 3 eggs, a cup of shredded mozzarella, and 1 serving of Keto Chow. In the video that accompanies that, we talk about a half a scoop or a half a serving instead of 1. We changed the recipe after we shot that video. So Bubble says, why not a text reminder? Because the engine, the subscription engine that we use, does not support text reminders. The old one that we had did. In fact, it would send out either an email or a text to people just beforehand saying, hey, just so you know, you've got a subscription coming up. The new one that we have does not support text stuff, which is a kind of a pain and sad, but that's what it is. Paige says, what's the general consensus on intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating in combination with keto, yay or nay? A lot of people, it just happens naturally. They forget to eat. I didn't eat until it was like almost 2 p.m. today. I just wasn't hungry. I was working. I had a lot of stuff to do. So for a lot of people, it works just fine. It seems like the sort of thing that our ancestors would have naturally done because they didn't have refrigeration. They would have eaten when they could, and there would have been long periods of time in between that. Let's see. Brenda says, what's the link? I don't know what link you're talking about. I'm sorry. Crystal says, I made some peanut brittle last week for non-keto people, and they loved it. I used peanut trivia brown sweet complete and butter. Had some melted Lily's chocolate chips on the side. There you go. Evelyn says, I've always have way too much in my subscription cart. No worries about getting too low. There you go. Let's see. Oh, Crystal says, since peanut butter is going away, maybe peanut brittle could be a new flavor. I don't know about that. And we're actually going to talk about, because a lot of people were surprised by peanut butter going away. We'll talk about that and why some flavors come, why some flavors go. There you go. Bubble says, meal replacement responsibility is real. Keto Simple says, what? Chris, you can't send owls? I tried, but they don't actually like to carry messages. They're not a suitable avian carrier for that. So Travis says, call customer service. We'll take care of you. Yes, they will. Mike says, weird science. Now I've got the Oingo Boingo song in my head. Thank you very much, Mike. Not that I'm sad about that, but let's see. Yeah, no pea protein. There you go. Don says, I hope your family gets better soon. Being sick just stinks. You are correct. Let's see. Amy says, I fasted until 4 p.m. today and had 1 meal of all protein. That's not a bad way to go. Brenda says, the link to get my orders. So it's actually quite simple. You go up to the top of the page and you log in, and it will take you to all of your orders right there. Let's see. Visual Keto says, enjoying a great big ribeye right now. And Brenda says, I lost my email that had the Keto Chow link. So, and if you're talking about the subscription link, every month you get the email with the link to that. And if you need the link again, well, you can just log in and you'll be presented with all of your orders. You can also contact our customer service because it's a unique link for each person. So there's no way I could give it to you over here. So let me see. Okay. Another question we had was someone wanting to know about the shelf life of Keto Chow. And let's talk about that. So the shelf life of Keto Chow, an unopened bag of Keto Chow is 5 years. When we first started Keto Chow and we were talking to the company that does the packaging for us, they said, hey, you need a best by date on here. How far out do you want to have the best by date? And we're like, how would we know that? Because at the time, we had no idea about anything. They said, well, the best way to do it is you take one of the packages and you put it into basically, it's an accelerated environment testing thing. Like, it's a really hot, humid box that simulates in like a month or so the effects of like 2 years of sitting on a shelf in a like 70-degree house. And if the package is still good, if nothing has degraded in there, if the vitamins are still at the level that they say that they are, then you can put a 2-year shelf life. And we're like, cool, let's do that. So we tested it. Great, 2 years. So for several years, we were putting a 2-year best by date. So if it was made in January of 2000, we would put a January 2022 best by date on it. So 2 years. As time went on, we actually had packages of Keto Chow that were finished that were 3, 4, 5. We got up to one that was 4.5 years old. We had one that was 5.2 years old and one that was 5.6 years old. We actually had them that had been sitting on a shelf, and we had them, a company who does stability testing, open them up and test the contents or the viability, test the vitamins to see if they still had the amount of like vitamin A and vitamin D, vitamin like B12 and stuff like that, to see if the contents still matched what was on the package. And the 5.6 year one, there were a couple vitamins that had degraded below the amount on the package. The one that was 5.4 years, actually there were 2 or 3 that we tested. And on all of those, they were slightly above what was written on the package as far as the viability and the quantity of the vitamins. So armed with that data, a real-time over 5-year test, we were able to change the shelf life. So now, if you go on, well, if you look on a package, if it says anything before 2023 on the shelf life, you can actually add 3 years. Or rather, sorry, if the package says it expires before 2027, you can add 3 years to bring it up to the 5-year shelf life. All the stuff that we're producing now has a 5-year shelf life printed on the package. So that's how we established the shelf life that's on the packaging, was actual real life testing, which is kind of cool. It's not an accelerated test, it's a real-time test, which is actually the real gold standard of stability testing. Okay, let's see. Kathy says, what did the s'mores taste like? It tasted like marshmallow, and Miriam doesn't like the taste of marshmallow. Now, that actually brings us, thank you for that segue, to why do some flavors get discontinued? And what makes a flavor a good flavor that we keep around? So in the show notes, like in the description of this video, there's a link to this page, to the Keto Chow flavor status page. And as it describes on here, hey, we love introducing fun new flavors. We usually do it as a limited edition that's only in the single meal packets and in a limited quantity. Now, unfortunately, logistics dictate that not every flavor is going to be a commercial success. Some of them were like, dude, this was awesome. Bring it back immediately. Others, we might wait a while and maybe bring it back in the future. And other ones were like, that was fun. We're not going to bring it back. It just didn't sell very well. In the case of s'mores that we were talking about, that was one that we did bring it back. But then after we brought it back, the resales or the The subsequent sales of it were kind of terrible. So we decided we weren't going to order it again. So now the individual packets do have an impressive shelf life. 4+ years. It's actually 5. I guess I need to update this. So if there's a limited edition or a flavor that's going to be discontinued flavor that you really love, you could totally stock up. But so here's the status, okay? You've got available. That means that we try to keep it in stock at all times. Limited edition, they come in and out. So it might be that they just were introduced and they may return at a future date when they run out of stock. Some may not. We never announce ahead of time if a flavor is going to be coming back. I'm surprised that we haven't had someone yet today say, when is butterscotch coming back? Well, butterscotch is a limited edition flavor. We will never announce ahead of time when it's coming back or if it's coming back, because there's a lot of stuff that we can't control. And if something's coming back, and we promise that it's coming back, which we've done in the past, and then something happens, like peppermint. Peppermint was supposed to come back. It did not come back because there were unforeseen circumstances which prevented us from bringing it back. We still haven't gotten it. The stuff that we ordered in July of 2024, peppermint, we still don't have it. Good thing we didn't announce it, because we don't have it. So we don't announce if stuff is coming back. We will announce it when you can order it, because we want to under-promise and over-deliver. Anyway, so you've got the limited edition stuff. Here we are, limited edition stuff. And then we've got stuff that's no announcement. We haven't made any public announcement. We've got things that aren't planned, like the limited edition 21 meal bags. And then we've got stuff that is discontinued. It was introduced. We're not going to be restocking it. There may still be some stuff available until it sells out. Once it runs out, we're not going to restock it. And there's a really handy search up here. So, colada. Here you have pina colada. The pina colada in both sizes has been discontinued. You can still buy it, but it's discontinued. Chocolate peanut butter, easily available. Grab it. It's the second most popular flavor we carry. The regular peanut butter, when we first introduced it, it sold well. And then as we introduced other flavors, as people's attention and the stuff that they wanted to order shifted, the sales for it kind of dropped off. So much so that it did not make sense for us to order it again. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of something like this, where there are minimums we have to order, and they're kind of significant. Like buy a car significant. So ordering more of the peanut butter when it's selling the way that it is just really didn't make any sense. Now, there are some flavors that right now we're keeping around kind of just because we want to, like the core flavors. The core flavors, they're not selling super well except for the chocolate, the sweetened chocolate, which is available in both sizes. The unsweetened, we actually made that in a large bag, and then it didn't sell. So we discontinued that. Creamy tomato basil has now been discontinued. We still have it. The taco, there is spicy taco soup base. That one is now discontinued too. Savory chicken soup, totally available. But the s'mores and other things like red licorice. People are like, red licorice? Yeah, we also had a black licorice. And despite, I mean, it's one of my favorite flavors. I loved it. The problem is people didn't buy enough of it for us to justify keeping it around. So it was super fun while it lasted. And the guava grapefruit, so good. But if it doesn't sell, like the key lime. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. We actually had planned to introduce a large bag of the key lime. And when we were running the numbers on it, we went, oh, wait. Actually, we shouldn't even order the singles of the key lime because it just isn't selling well enough. So it got discontinued as well. So it's not happy when a flavor has to be discontinued because everybody has their favorite flavors. And for some of them, they have more esoteric tastes than other people. But if we're going to introduce new flavors, by necessity, some of the older flavors have to get the axe. So like last year, people were like, hey, why did you get rid of root beer float and key lime? It's like, well, you wanted butterscotch and chocolate malt. Something had to go. They're like, oh, okay, I'd rather have butterscotch and chocolate malt. And probably someone's saying, I'd rather have butterscotch and chocolate malt right now. So it's difficult decisions that we have to make. That's just kind of how things go as far as what flavors stick around, what flavors don't. So, okay, S. Rob wants to know, what's your favorite food recipe, either sweet or savory, made with any flavor Keto Chow? We make chaffles a lot, like really, really a lot, because it's super versatile. You make it with the chicken soup, and boom, you've got hamburger buns. Put some cheese in between there, toast it up. It's amazing. And like the kids go nuts when Miriam makes them into waffles, and we just eat them. So, Mike wants to know: Are you trying to recertify longer than 5 years? Because we got a negative test on the 5.6 year. I'm not super interested in going longer than 5 years, just because. I mean, it might have test data that shows longer than 5 years, because we have really good packaging. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, the packaging, this is an old packet, but the packaging for Keto Chow it's really robust. It has a foil oxygen barrier in there to keep the stuff good for a very long time. It's kind of overkill. We could probably save some money by going with cheaper packaging, but then it wouldn't last as long. Anyway, and the fact that it's packaged in Utah, there's very little water activity, is what it's called, because it's super dry here. Anyway, they just last a long time. We might be able to do longer, but it's not at the top of my list of stuff that I need to take care of. I don't know. Bum, bum, bum. Keto Simple wants grape salty. And says Dave Feldman is on my side. Keep working on Miriam, guys. Someday she'll let me make a grape salty flavor. Bum, bum, bum. Keto Simple says peppermint. Yeah, peppermint Keto Chow. It was supposed to be available. Bubble says, so July we'll have the new fall flavors kicked off. Oh my gosh. But here's the thing. Every year, it seems like, what's their names? Starbucks. Starbucks does their stupid pumpkin spice latte like 2 weeks earlier every year. Like they're going to be launching it in May soon. So in 2024, so not this year, last year, we had hoped to introduce the fall flavors a lot earlier than they actually came out. I think we missed the introduction of those by might be a month and a half or 2 months, because there were issues with the flavor. So we got that resolved, so I'm happy about that. But something was going wrong with with peppermint, that it just didn't taste right. Like we were putting in like 2 or 3 times more mint flavor than it was supposed to have, and there was no mint. And there was this weird metallic flavor, and it was just, I don't know what was going on. So there was no peppermint for 2024, which is sad. Keto Simple says, at the Keto Chow office, is there a gone but not forgotten in memoriam display? No, because every time we find something like that, like seriously, we got a return that had been shipped overseas. Travis got it, and he opened it up, and there was root beer float Keto Chow in there. I think I might have like shoved old ladies out of the way trying to get to it. Totally brought it home. It's amazing. Love that. And I don't even know where there's any grape. I would love to have some grape, but. And Miriam has a stash of like 4 black licorice Keto Chows that she doesn't let anybody have. Anyway, and yeah, it's sad that some flavors just don't make it. But then we've got other flavors that are amazing. Like I had raspberry cheesecake as a Ninja Creamy ice cream yesterday for lunch. Ah, that's so good. I'd actually rather have that than black licorice or grape or anything else. It's just so good. But again, hey, flavor's a personal thing. So, Maisie says, sure would be nice to get guava grapefruit back. It'd be interesting. And one thing that I'd love to do, we haven't ever done it, but one thing I'd love to do is do a limited run of a previous flavor. Bring one back and have it, hey, here it's available. Get it while it's hot. Let's see, Low Carb Spin is here. Welcome. Karen says, do you have an opinion on black seed oil cold pressed? No. Nope. Me personally, I like fruit oils, like, what's it called? Oh my gosh. Avocado oil and olive oil, which are fruits. Those ones are amazing. And I like animal fats. And based on my experiences with checking my blood tests and what it was doing to my metabolic health, animal fats and those fruit oils are the best. I try to stay away from seed oils at all costs. So I actually gave myself a recurrence of my plantar fasciitis by using seed oils in Keto Chow, even though I was in a very deep state of ketosis, which should be anti-inflammatory, but the seed oils made it come back really fast. Let's see, Rush says, and frankly, do we need it to keep it around for 6 or 7 years? 5 is sufficient. I agree. Lisa says pumpkin spice is never stupid. Bubble says, I think 2 months, 2023, I got my winter fall in September. Yeah, there you go. Nancy says, can we get just salty in the subscription by itself, or do we need to add it to the meals? I think that you can. You just have to, I think that's actually, you should be able to. If you can't, contact our customer service team because you should be able to. Now, what you can also do is if you go on salty.com, you can get a subscription right there for just salty. Evelyn says, we really appreciate all you do to keep the flavor on point. Thanks. Mike says, Ben and Jerry's have a retired flavor graveyard. And well, we kind of have. So on this page, again, the link is down in the description of this, you can sort these. And so you can see, like, there's all the discontinued flavor. Peaches and cream, pina colada, red licorice, root beer float, the original vanilla, the original strawberry. We still have a lot of the strawberry, but it is currently discontinued in favor of the strawberry cream. So, oh, and yeah, that's another thing I was getting at. If you go to our website and go to buy single flavors, and you click the retired, there's actually a list of all the retired flavors. They don't show up by default, the retired flavors, because we don't want to muddy the water with, well, here's all these flavors you used to be able to get. And people are like, what? But I feel deep in my core that if someone's looking for information, they should be able to find it. And if they're looking for a flavor that they used to have, they should be able to find it. So we still have, I mean, you can click on notify when available. And the funny thing is, we actually do check those lists. Like, it creates a statistical report that tells us like what flavors are being requested. So if you really want the black licorice, you can mark it as let me know when it comes back, and it'll show up. Debbie says, I want February 1st to get here so I can have Keto Chow again, because she's doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Donna says raspberry cheesecake is my favorite. It's so good. Let's see. Meg says bringing back an old flavor would be fun. Super fun. What's prevented it from happening is that whole minimum order quantity. At the rate at which we sell regular old chocolate, the minimum order quantity is like a couple weeks worth. At the rate at which we sold black licorice, when we had it, we only ordered 1 round of black licorice and 1 round of red licorice. I think the red licorice lasted like 6 or 7 months, and the black licorice lasted like 10 months. So it was a fun flavor, but it didn't sell very well. The people who liked it loved it, but a lot of people were just like, "What? Why would you do this?" Let's see. This place says I had an order just salty with my recurring order subscription, not had any Keto Chow. Okay, there you go. So Low Carb Spin says I called customer service today to ask about a color of one of the packets of Keto Chow and was told the wrong thing. Okay. Did you get the right information? That's kind of interesting. And hey, you know what? Our customer service team, they are human. They try to give the right information. And a lot of times, if you got the wrong information, you can say, I think that's wrong. And then they'll research it and ask one of the other team. So, and I'm back. Did you guys miss me? Hey, that was weird. I don't know why it was disconnected, but can you see me again? Anyhow, yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there, but it said it disconnected and now it's reconnected again. Okay, that's actually, I think I covered all the stuff I wanted to talk about. Purple Ananas says no issues. I never noticed you left. Okay, that's great. Let's see. Andrea says never lost you. Well, now, so we are this has a kind of a significant delay. There's like a 30-second delay from when I do something to when you guys actually see it. That does allow a buffer so that maybe you don't see it if there's minor problems. We do that so that it can auto close caption them, the video. That's also why we use the fancy microphones, so it gets a good clean signal. Blaze says I'm having a little buffering here in Texas. Okay. Evelyn says, is the maple waffle a seasonal flavor because of maple season? I think maple waffles are a year-round thing. It's seasonal because it didn't sell very well outside of the season in the wintertime. So depending on, and that's another thing, depending on how stuff sells, if there's a flavor that is seasonal and it's selling like gangbusters, we bring it as a full-time flavor. On the other hand, if there are flavors that have a very clear, defined seasonality to them, for instance, the eggnog. When we introduced eggnog, it was available year-round. And it did not sell like at all after January. And then the sales would pick up again in about October. So anyway, Oh, Donna says Facebook just shut down the live. Maybe it was the whole reconnecting thing. I guess YouTube kept it going, but Facebook, it died. Anyway, Ernest says, I'm loving Keto Chow, though trying to fine-tune the way I mix. Thanks for the help. Hey, you're welcome. And there's a bunch of videos on like how to mix Keto Chow, and we got lots of good stuff on our website as far as doing it. So, well, I'm fresh out of stuff to talk about without Miriam here to keep me in line, you know. Cynthia says eggnog feels Christmas like pumpkin spice this fall. Yeah, and that's another pumpkin spice. It sells really well in the fall, and it sells terrible. Okay, command successful. Great, I'm reconnected. Yay. Let's see, Exposing Darkness says what's going on with a vanilla core. So with vanilla core, we have it. I don't know if it's out of stock right now, actually, but we have more on order. So it's coming back at least. If it's out of stock, we did order more. Kathy says he said the B word, so I had to go mix up butterbeer. Keto Simple wants to know, is butterscotch the fastest selling new flavor? So blueberry pie did sell faster than any other one. And a lot of that was we didn't order enough of it when we introduced it. Chocolate malt sold pretty good too. But of the recent new flavors, butterscotch is one of the better selling ones. See, Juliana says, I have a question. Recently subscribed to my surprise box. Was shocked that it was stuffed into a bubble envelope, not a box, and didn't arrive in poor condition. So if you got the 20 meal surprise box, we can fit 20 of the individual packets into the bubble mailer, and then we should be sticking a My Chow surprise kit like sticker on top of that, and it should arrive just fine. Yeah. Exposing Darkness says, okay, so the vanilla, yeah, and I recently just tested that. Let's see, actually, hold on a second. I took a picture. And I wasn't sure where I was going to, there it is. I recently, and actually the chocolate, the core flavors are on the other side of the cabinet because I did not have enough space on this to test them. So anyway, yeah, every time we get a new batch in, it has to be tested. And this particular batch, it was so funny. Something weird happened where one of the flavors, like the aromatic essence of that flavor, like permeated into a bunch of the other flavors and made them taste really weird. So they supplied us a new batch of flavors and they tasted fine. So, but yeah, the vanilla core, it's been tested and approved. Exposing Darkness says, I predict peppermint will sell out fast when it comes back. It probably will. Exchange Student says, I want to read labels better, and I want to be sedated. Do you guys remember that song? Man, I'm old. Anyway, all right, well, I'm going to go. I'm getting low bit rate now. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the network here, but I think, yeah, I'm going to call it. You all have a fantastic night. Thanks so much for joining me. And oh, Cynthia says, I say we copy the natural strawberry. I do have a batch of natural strawberry that needs to be tested. It hasn't been approved yet, but it'll be restocked. So anyway, you all have a great night, and I will see you next week.